Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So what's on tap for today? Well, we've got another great debate, the POLITICON debates between Ana Kasparian and Coulter. And folks are going to be talking in this segment. It's part one about immigration. We're going to get to that in the next few seconds. But before we do so, we just want to let you know that you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share this video with everyone, put your comments down below, let us know what you think. Let's get to the video of the debate between Anne and Ana. We'll do that right now.
Let's slide into the immigration portion of the afternoon, evening. What is the reason why most people who are immigrants come to live in America?
It varies quite a bit. I also want to say Bernie Sanders dropped the jobs issue and dropped the working class issue. Why? Because he's put through the meat grinder of one of the main political parties. And you are not going to get, it is the uniparty in Washington against the people. That was what Trump represented, and the proof of that was the interview that Bernie gave. I think it was to Salon, and he said something about, he was asked about, I remember the guy that I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, who said, well, yeah, of course you're for open borders. And Bernie Sanders said, no, that's a Koch brothers idea. They want the cheap labor. That was what his position used to be. But then, oh no, has to be for open borders because he's running as a Democrat. That is what hurts the working class, the low-wage workers more than anything else. We're just going to keep dumping more low-wage workers on the country. And that is in answer to your question. I mean, a lot of them are coming for the welfare benefits now. As Milton Friedman said, you can't have a welfare state and open borders. And we're getting a lot of that now. Pre-1970 immigrants made more money, bought more houses than the people who already lived here. Post-1970 immigrants, vastly poorer than the people who already live here. Well, that's just competing for resources, both for government benefits and for jobs from our own poor people. How about we bring in people to compete with talk show hosts and senators and governors and Wall Street bankers? Then we'll see, how much compassion we have for the rest of the world. But Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want somebody to compete with him for his job. He wants to bring in people to compete for his landscaper's job. That is how Donald Trump cares about the people who are being hurt and have been left behind and ignored by both political parties for decades now.
Okay, so basically spot on. It's supply and demand. That's what Anna's basically saying. Has nothing to do with racism. Now, I know Anne, okay, sometimes she gets a little hyperbolic, just like all of us do. Ana Kasparian gets a little hyperbolic, but then when they come on these shows, they go, oh, we all want to be really nice, and we try to control ourselves. Then when we go back to our corners in our own rings, our own shows, then guess what? It's game on. Right? It's game on, okay? Let's take everybody on. Let's call them every name in the book. We all have our opinions, but basically, concisely, precisely, Ann Coulter just said, you already have a lower working class here working for, let's say, low-wage jobs, and you basically are saying, okay, what are you going to do after that?
I have a response to that. So all it takes is a quick Google search to find that undocumented immigrants have no access to government benefits. In fact, in 1996, Bill Clinton and legislators at the time made it incredibly difficult for immigrants who are in the country legally to have access to government benefits or government programs. And so it's a complete fear-mongering talking point from the right that people are coming into this country and they're mooching off American taxpayers. The only people who are mooching off of American taxpayers right now are oil companies and the wealthiest people who...
I just have to point out there that just because the federal government says that there's benefits aren't there for illegal aliens. They're still getting them. I don't care what you Google. There are still places around there. And then not only that, at the state level, they're getting those funds. And where do you think the state is getting its money from? From the federal government as well. Those funds are commingled, folks. So the state taxes you and uses those tax dollars for all their benefit programs that they give back to the communities, right? Well, guess what? The states are also receiving federal grant money that's being utilized for this. So just because you can Google it and say, okay, that, you know what, illegal aliens or undocumented people are not getting federal money or state money is absolutely wrong. It is a valid talking point.
And it's really a great distraction to have Americans look at the little guy and blame them for all their problems when the wealthiest people in this country are basically raping and pillaging us, right? So that's what's happening. To go back to Tere's original question about why people are coming into this country, right now, immigration from Mexico, so Mexican immigrants is down, okay? Mexicans are not trying to come into the country the way they were before, mostly because of some of our policies, but more importantly because their economy is doing better, right? So they have no reason to come here. Economic reasons was the main reason why Mexican immigrants were coming into the US. But all of a sudden, we're seeing an increase of people from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador trying to cross the border. First of all, cross the border into Mexico and then cross into the United States, which has become pretty impossible considering the increased border security that we have because of the Obama administration. Now, why are they trying to come in? Well, there have been spikes in violence in those countries. Okay, there have been drug traffickers, cartels that have increased violence. You've heard about, decapitations and all that stuff. Well, the reason why they're so powerful is because of the drug war that you're very supportive of. We've spent $1 trillion on the war on drugs since 1971. We're not only wasting our resources, we're literally fueling, upping the ante when it comes to undocumented immigration in the country. So that's what's happening.
A lot of studies show that the number one reason that immigrants give for illegally crossing the border is family reunification. They want to reunite with their family. Do you think that it is immoral to break immigration law to reunite with your family?
It is a total lie that illegal immigrants do not get all kinds of government assistance. Please do Google that. But don't just look up. Any idiot can write on the internet. Look it up. They can get food stamps. They go into emergency rooms. They get schooling. They get English as a second language. They get the SNAP program. They get full health care in California. It is not saying that illegal immigrants are the little guy. They're not our guys. Americans don't have a problem paying for our own poor, our own sick, our own injured. But the idea is we're like a family. We're all in this together.
Aren't you in favor of welfare reform?
And you say, but for the grace of God go I. Okay, but you don't get to, this isn't the entire world we're talking about. We're not turning America into, the universe's charity ward. We need to take care of our own. And that's what's hurting the little guy. The reason illegal immigrants say they're coming for family reunification is because that's what got you a free bus pass and a box lunch in the Obama era, whatever they need to say, to be moved into the interior of the country. But this idea that, you can't break up my family. Well, okay, all of you go back then.
I think it's hilarious.
I just have to basically say here right now that Ann Coulter just came right back. I mean, I think at the time Ann put her point across. Ana countered, And she basically went in, thinking that, oh, I got her right now saying that, hey, it's a complete fabrication. It's a right-wing talking point. Google it. That, illegal aliens don't get federal aid. They don't get federal dollars. They don't get a dime. They don't get no money. They just work themselves. They don't get any help at all. No services, nothing. Google it. And Ann just came back and went, kaboom, mic drop, and basically said, yeah, go ahead, Google it. Why we talk? Hospital, schools, SNAP, WIC, local programs, shelters, food banks, what I say, schooling, healthcare, like it's in California, free healthcare. I mean, anything that they want, they get. Their resources are there. And then for them to say, as I said, whatever the government is telling them, what's the best way? You don't think people are telling them, say, look, this is what I got in. This is what I told the border security people. This is what I told the border guard. When I crossed over the border, this is what I told the immigration services. This is how I got through. This is how they gave me a bus ticket. This is how they gave me a plane ride to wherever they gave it to me to get into the United States of America. I know I'm going half-cock crazy over here right now, but I'm just getting, so fed up with the way that, these progressives from the Young Turks talk. I mean, and just absolutely, for my point right now, part one, round goes to Ann Coulter. All right, folks, thanks for watching. We appreciate you taking the time to do so. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. Thanks for watching. My name is Dr. Nasir. I'll leave you with my final thought. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, share, follows, comment as well. My final thought is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.